All right, here we are. I'm doing this again. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on a journey, and today I'm going to update you on that journey. But first, I'm going to change my shirt because it's white with a white backdrop, and I'm not feeling this. Here we go. This is better. Ganesha. I got this one in India. Yeah, we've been moving around. I'm in Italy at the moment. Got the shirt in India. We're going to talk about both those things. How long have I been gone? I've been out of Canada for 2.5 years, almost. September, October, November, December. 2 years and 4 months since I left home in Canada. And I've been all over the place. I started in South America, 7 months in South America, 6 months then in Europe, another 6 months in Southeast Asia. I went back to Europe for another 6 months. Then I went to India, and now I'm back in Europe. I'm in Italy at the moment, in northern Italy, in a town called Bolzano, which is in the mountains near the Austrian border, and it's beautiful here. My goodness. So what happened? Like, what caused all of this? Basically, like, this is the only way I can really kind of explain it. I was in a position in my life. I ended up where I was because of circumstances and things that happened to me. And though, like all of us, right? And those circumstances brought about a situation in which enabled me to be what I was, like the perfect balance to create the drum videos and the content that you saw here on the channel. And the real driving motivation for the drum content and a lot of the music that I used to listen to was like a reservoir inside of me of unprocessed, unfelt emotion. Events that had happened that I had not felt, not faced, and emotions that slowly in time were being suppressed greater and greater until this reservoir inside of me was ready to burst. It had become so pressurized that it was consuming me completely. So then how did I go about releasing it? Well, in 2020, a friend of mine dropped a bag of mushrooms on my bed, and that was my first experience with psychedelics. And then I went on to take psychedelics fairly regularly. Some weeks were like 3-4 trips in 1 week. I did that for 2 years. Now, I'm not recommending anybody does that. I'll talk about this more on my other channels, which we'll talk about later in this video, but I don't want to get too into it in this video. Essentially, like, up until that point in my life, up until 2020, I had spent 25 years trying to figure out how to feel better, how to feel whole, how to feel well. And I had tried a lot of things. I had tried a lot of drugs. I had tried a lot of medication, prescription drugs. I had tried a lot of athletics. I had tried a lot of bands, music, consumption, songs. I had tried a lot of instruments. I had tried a lot of things. And a lot of those things were motivated by trying to figure out how to take this reservoir and open it up and release it. And I just could not come to one that could drain the whole swamp, that could drain the reservoir, that could actually like set me free from all of the things that I was holding inside and suppressing. Until 2020 when I found the psychedelics, thanks to my friend Mitch. Appreciate you, bro, if you see this. Yeah, so he was the one who left the bag. Thank you, Mitch. Went on to do 2 years of that, experimented a little bit with LSD, but mostly psilocybin, took a lot of psilocybin, and it worked. Like, I had found something that actually worked. I didn't take any of those substances from the standpoint of like party or recreational. It was all therapeutic. I got really interested in how like hospitals like Johns Hopkins and other hospitals around the world were actually using MDMA and psilocybin in clinical trials to help people with PTSD and to help people with depression and anxiety disorders. And I just started like reading books about using psychedelics as like a therapeutic medicine. And that's essentially what I did. Like I developed my own protocol in my own space, and I was dosing myself regularly under that protocol to have the best effects to heal, because I was seeing this plant medicine as a medicine and I was using it to get to a better state. But inside of those 2 years, something happened where as I'm draining this reservoir, things are also coming back in. Like I noticed that I'll drain it a little bit and then more will come back. So I also needed to I could use the psychedelics to actually drain the reservoir, to feel the emotions and to heal. But I was unsure as to how to stay in a state of wellness. To stay in a state that felt like I was when I was taking psychedelics regularly, and I didn't want to always be on some sort of drug. Up until 2022, I had been taking drugs of some form, some kind, since I was like 7 years old.
I just want to clarify the statement I'm making here. I was taking drugs since the age of 7, maybe even 6, I'm not sure. And the drugs that I was taking back then were prescribed drugs, but they were still drugs. It was like a lot of amphetamines for the early years, and for helping me focus in school and whatnot. But that really was like the start of a mindset of turning to drugs as the answer for me, because at that point in my life, my parents, my doctors, my teachers were all telling me that, okay, take this drug and you'll be okay. So it was like very much like, it kind of laid this foundation of you're not complete on your own and you have to take a substance to complete yourself. I just wanted to clarify that because I'm about to say that I wasn't sober like the whole time. And by sobriety to me means off everything, including anything prescribed, especially like amphetamines, because like this, I don't know, that's like the same thing as narcotics. Like it is affecting your mental, well, for me, it definitely was altering my mental state every single day from 7 until 25 when I managed to get off it. Okay, back to the video.
6 or 7, I started. And there wasn't almost not a day went by where I was sober off something, or sober from everything. Like there was always something. Okay, so how did I go from this new drug of psychedelics to being sober? Inside of the dosing of the psilocybin, one day I practiced a lot of yoga. I had been practicing yoga for 10 years at that point, regularly, to maintain my wrists so that I could keep drumming. And I've talked about that like a ton on this channel. I did a lot of yoga one morning, and then I felt the effects of psilocybin without having taken any. Is the best way I could say that. Like the peace and clarity that I was achieving through regularly dosing psychedelics, I managed to achieve through the modality of breath and movement. And that was, for me, just came in the form of the pranayama and the asana, which is the movement and the breathing inside of yoga. The light's getting a little brighter here, and I think I'm out of focus. I hope I haven't been out of focus for that whole time. I find yoga, I practiced a bunch. I did like 3 hours one morning. I was like, whoa, that really worked. And then I was able to stop dosing the psychedelics. I was actually able to, with the psychedelics, I got off all other drugs. I was able to quit all my habits, except for taking psychedelics regularly. And then with yoga and meditation and breath work, and ice baths, I was able to get off the psychedelics. Not that I wanted to get off them or that I was even interested in stopping them, because I wasn't. But it just happened where I replaced those habits with healthier habits. And those habits came in the form of the 4 that I just mentioned. So that's why so many of you have said so many things along the lines of like, what happened to you, bro? You know? Like so many comments on Instagram, so many comments on YouTube, so many people interested, like, you changed completely is what people are telling me. And I feel it. Like I look completely different than an older version of me that used to get on this channel and talk to you guys about drumming or the music that had been released or play the drums, right? So what had happened? That's what happened. That's why it was so drastic. That's why it was so extreme, because it was a complete revamp. It was like a dying of one life and a new beginning in another around 2020 that really came about through psychedelics into healing modalities. And then those healing modalities eventually led to this one realization. This was the most important of all. When I was maybe 14 years old, I had already been reading these books on manifestation, like Law of Attraction, The Secret. I had been reading Dr. Wayne Dyer. I had been reading Eckhart Tolle. I had been reading these spiritual texts as part of my search for something to help me feel well, to help me feel whole. I started practicing at that age, like around 14, 15, I started practicing manifestation. And so I wrote down in like a journal, I wrote down everything that I wanted to achieve by the time I was 25 years old. I wrote them down and I told myself, if I don't have all these things by 25, I won't be happy and I'm gonna kill myself. That was the extreme level, that was the extreme desperation that I felt at 14, 15, when I was trying to feel well, trying to feel whole, and couldn't really put the pieces together to feel it. And I was convinced at that age that the pieces to put together were external to me. I was convinced at 14 that if I get the car, if I get the house, if I get the drum set I want, if I get the computer I want, or if I play enough video games, that I will feel well, I will feel whole. So I wrote down what I wanted, which was a list of stuff, essentially. Stuff and status. I wrote it all down. I put it aside, and then I worked really hard to bring about those things. And at 25 years old, I had crossed off every single item on the list. I had everything that I wanted, and I was working the job that I wanted to work, which was what you guys saw on YouTube. And I had done it. But this is the scary part. At 25, I'm sicker, I'm more depressed, I'm more desperate, anxious, overwhelmed, lonely than ever before in my life. But I had everything I wanted. So where do you go from that? Like, what do you do now? So around that time, like, suicide was on my mind every single day. I have everything I want and I'm more empty, I'm more hollow than ever before. How do I go forward? There was no forward. There was just make it stop. It was just like, bring this to an end. So yeah, suicide was a daily thought. Okay, so then psychedelics started to shift me out of that. Start to help me, instead of focusing just on external, instead of focusing just on external wants, external desires, the psychedelics turned me inward. They exposed me for the first time to transcendental meditation. They exposed me first time to the inner states, the inner realms. That yoga, breathwork, meditation, ice baths also then build on the foundation the psychedelics helped me to create. Those practices build on it from a more balanced, maintainable approach of, here's how to go within. Here's how to work with your internal world. Okay, so then at that point I'm like, all right, all the material stuff didn't matter because I got it all and I didn't feel well. So now I'm going to go out into the world and discover whatever I can discover. I'm done planning and pretending like I know anything. I'm just gonna go into the world. And then that was when the plan started to come together to leave Canada and go travel. And the first destination was Costa Rica. And then since then, I've been through 27 countries in the last 2 years and 4 months across those continents I listed at the beginning of this video. And all of that has just been motivated by like curiosity, motivated by the spiritual journey that I started really when I was 14, but really started to like snowball when I was 25. And all of it's kind of just been like to get to a better place, to like learn the world, to meet people, to feel alive, and to discover what there is to discover, because like prior to travel, I knew nothing, essentially. I thought I knew, okay, life is make a lot of money, buy the things that you love, then you'll be happy, and then you die. And like, that was what I went after until 25. And then when I achieved it, I was worse off. And then I had to go and discover something else. Like I had to build a new worldview. And how can you build a worldview if you just stay in the same place and associate with the same people and live the same life over and over and over again on repeat? So the worldview that I've put together in the last 2.5 years has been one of the world. Like it's been one of people and cultures and countries and diversity and experiences globally. There you go. Like so many questions from you guys. Why would you stop? You're at the peak of your playing. Why would you? This is why. This is what happened. I got a comment the other day on my yoga channel, which I'm going to talk about here in a sec. But the comment was essentially, bro, what happened to you? Here, I'll put it on screen. But yeah, I replied by saying, I'm doing the most punk rock thing I can possibly do, and that's living my life for me. I'm not living my life for community, what the community wants. I'm not living my life for what the parents want. I'm not living my life for what the school wants. I'm not living my life for what the audience on YouTube wants. I'm living my life for me, and I'm just doing what feels good. That's it. I'm not thinking about a future. Actually, that's not true. I definitely am thinking about a future right now. But up until now, I was not thinking about a future. I was just living my life, you know? Just going where I wanted to go, doing what I wanted to do, with the people I wanted to spend time with. Okay, there you go. That's how we got to here. That's the life update so far. Now, what's going on right now? Okay, so Lindsay and I, we broke up, which I talked about on one of my new channels. I have 2 new channels now. So if you want to really come and experience where I'm currently at, like the new version and what I'm putting out these days, check out Yoga with Wyatt, link in description. Check out Life of Wyatt, link in description. So on Life of Wyatt, I made some videos talking about the end of my relationship with Lindsay. I'm not gonna get into that past just saying it ended, okay? It ended back in August 12th was the end of that. After that, I moved into a Tibetan Buddhist meditation center in London, no, not London, in the UK, 4 hours north of London. I spent 3 months at that meditation center, and while I was there, I helped them make videos, I helped them with construction work, and then I spent a lot of time meditating and journaling, practicing yoga, and making videos for my own channels, making videos for those 2 new channels. While there, I really put together a new person, new life. Like a new life was born, is what it feels like. And he's before you right now. He's in front of you right now. I'm really hoping I'm in focus. Like I can't imagine if I'm not in focus. I feel like I'm not in focus either. Okay, I am in focus. We can keep going. I wouldn't even know what to do if I wasn't focused. I would definitely just post this anyways, because it's so like raw and from the heart, and I want to keep going with it. Okay, 3 months, Tibetan Buddhist meditation center in London. I meet some amazing people there. I have some really like life-changing experiences on the inside, for sure. It was definitely a time where I could take 3 months and really go within. I got into a very healthy daily routine. I was waking up at 5 a.m. every day, going to bed around 8, 9 p.m., eating healthy food, exercising 2-3 times daily. I just was surrounded by positive people with healthy outlooks on life, and like I really took the time there to integrate and work with the end of my relationship, 2 years of travel, lessons learned from the road, and all of the things that kind of like in my internal state had not been addressed because of how much living there had been going on for so long, you know? Like backpacking across Southeast Asia, like Europe twice, South America, 7 months down there, like 91 videos on a new channel at the time called YNL, which was Lindsay and I's travel channel. Like it was just go, go, go for those 2 years. And the 3 months in routine, the 3 months in meditation really helped me to make sense of it all, which was exactly what I needed. It's amazing, you know, life brings you exactly what you need when you need it. You might not always like it. That's what I've found. I might not always like what's coming, but it's usually what I need in hindsight. Hindsight's 2020, right? Okay. So then I go on to India. My 27th country. I booked a flight, I booked the course, I went to India. I spent a month in India, in Rishikesh. All of December I spent in India, and I graduated a yoga teacher training program, YTT 200 hours. So I have a certificate in that now, which was really important for me because I've been teaching yoga for the last 2 years, online and in person, but I wasn't trained yet. I had just been teaching because of my 14 years of practice. And I felt like, okay, I know, like after 14 years of practicing something, even if you don't have a certificate, you know enough to like run a class or two, which is what I was doing prior to actually taking the course. Now I have the certificate, so it's a little bit more official. And I had an amazing time. And then the last thing I'll say about India was I met someone there. I'm not gonna get too into that. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna share with anything, but I met someone there. And so then after India, I come to Italy, and that's where I am right now. And I'm in a new chapter. like completely new. I'm teaching yoga and I'm working as a life coach. I've taken courses in both of those, and that's kind of what I'm doing with my life now. I'm helping people with the experiences that I've had in the last like 29 years of life. Not that that's a ton, but it's been very intense. So there's been a lot of lessons that I've managed to accumulate from being a professional YouTuber, traveling full-time through all these countries, taking meditation courses, teaching yoga now. Like all of it came with a lot of lessons and life experience that that I'm using to help clients in life coaching sessions, one-on-one, which has been really amazing. I really discovered like a passion for teaching when I was making lesson videos for the channel here. And now I'm really sort of just like doubling down on that passion for teaching, for coaching, working with people in this coaching courses and these one-on-one sessions that I'm doing. So if you're interested in that, you can check out my coaching website down in the description, and you can sign up for one-on-one sessions with me. Also, I'm a yoga teacher, which is a dream come true. And I have a channel called Yoga with Wyatt. If you want to subscribe there and practice yoga with me, you can. I have beginner videos and I have advanced videos. But be careful, like read the title, because a lot of them are advanced, but there's a few beginners. So if you've never practiced yoga before, there's a few that I have for the absolute beginner, and you can try that out. All right, so that's the life update. That's where I'm at. I hope you join me on the new channels, which I will link down below. Ask questions in the comments. Be respectful, please. And I will do my best to maybe make a Q&A video in the future. Like you can ask questions down below, and maybe I'll upload a follow-up to this video and answer those questions. That could be fun. That could be really fun. So if you're keen on that, if you have something specific that you want to ask me, maybe we'll do that down in the description. Sorry, in the comment section. All right, thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for sticking with the journey. You know, it's changed. The energy's changed, I've changed. Everything has evolved in so many crazy ways in the last few years. And yeah, I'm grateful for so many of you sticking by, even though like maybe I left the place in which we first connected over music, but so many of you still are hitting me up on Instagram and are following along on the new channels on YouTube. And that means the world to have like, you know, yeah, to have you there. So thank you guys. All right. I'll see you all in that Q&A. So leave a comment below. Peace.